Hi, I'm Amber. I'm going to be sharing a poem with you that I wrote in 2018 after I finished reading the novel Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. It took me a year to read this book. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and when I finished, I was surprised at my emotional response to the book. It was a little unexpected. And so I put my feelings into words with a poem, and I'm going to read it now. I haven't shared it with anyone, and going over it in preparation for this video, I will say it's very interesting because there were things that I kind of wanted to change. Poems, for me, never really feel like they're truly finished. I always feel like I can add more or take away. But I refrained from doing that. I did make some edits, but I refrained from making any changes or just deleting things that I might not write today, because that is what a poem is. It is like a time capsule for the moment and those feelings that the writer has right in that moment. And so as much as there were a few times where I thought, oh, I'd like to take that out, it wouldn't be right, because it really just captured where I was at this moment in time. Okay. You don't need to know anything about the book, or hopefully you don't, to appreciate the poem. And I've titled it, which is unusual. I, for some reason, don't usually title my poetry, but this one is called "It's Like Warming My Numb Hands by the Roaring Fire" by A.R. Hadley. I mourn the bridge between two worlds. You are the bridge, the piece, connecting one time to another, one generation to its future. What's gone came before you and during you. It's perhaps what I long for, an era I want to escape to, because I'm always nostalgic for the past, and maybe that's a fault. It's surely a ruse. You came and resurrected an art. Was it dying? The novel? Had people stopped reading? You said television made it easy not to think. I paraphrase, please forgive me. A book requires work. And so you were the go-between, the middle, the man straddling the precipice of something much darker. Oh, sure, there might be light there too. How's the glass? Half empty or full? The birth of this existence, and it is such as it's not living, the birth of this new world, was all in the name of connection. Entertainment spread beyond your wildest imaginations, or maybe you knew what was coming. Well, it's here, and in ways we are less connected than ever. By means of instant transmissions and virtual reality, I'm repeating a sentiment held by many. Still, we crave humanity, and you desperately want it to tell us what it meant to be alive, to be lonely, sad, depressed, addicted, alone, and you did. Is that what it means to be a good writer? I didn't know I would feel this way when I finished Infinite Jest. Unsettled, sad, pensive. I didn't know I would close the book and not want to put it on the shelf. I didn't expect to feel, after 1,079 pages, like I knew you. Is that what it means to be a good writer? Parlor tricks, making the reader think we could possibly know you when we don't have a clue. But I understand things. I feel. I'm open until I'm closed, and then I'm nothing. Understand, understand, understand. If we listen closely. I heard you sometimes took a book to a party, like me. You listened to Pearl Jam, like me. You had sadness sewn into parts of your shadow, never leaving you, rarely. I tell myself, I understand. Can I? I haven't walked in your shoes, yet I know emotional pain, this chemical dependence or lack of proper neurotransmitters or balances or imbalances or something, or voices talking all hours, day and night, never stopping, repeating words I've heard too much. I had a day when everything changed as a teenager. when I could no longer see the world through rose-colored glasses. I thought my head would explode from thoughts. I was sick on actual feelings. They had nowhere to go. I longed for distraction, and I kept running from them. Is that what it means to be a good writer? Can your words do all that? Make me remember, relate. Is it cliche? Am I selfish? It's not about me, but it is. Books make us all-inclusive. The words remind us of our beautiful humanity. I read each word. Someone said at one time there were 1 million and that they were handwritten. I mention this because I heard a woman once accuse an audience of not reading every word. No one, she said, has read all of Infinite Jest. Was the reader meant to be the butt of a joke? Was the very thing a thing and a thing and a thing? Was this a test? Does the great American novel still exist? And if it does, will people read it? Even when it's long and complicated, full of footnotes and a zillion characters? I sit here thinking and typing and writing, the book still on my nightstand, my peacock magnetic bookmark still clasped to the last page of the endnotes, and I feel and I feel and I feel and I feel something for someone I never knew. I can't imagine what it's like for your loved ones. Then I can, because you see, it's innate. Imagination, connectivity. I feel like you reached out and put your hand on mine and transferred an energy made of unending pain and understanding, a bridge. Is that what it means to be a good writer? I don't believe you tricked me, collapsing words and scenes into each other for pure entertainment value, dancing, look at me, look at me, look at me. I believe you did what you were afraid you couldn't do. You were sentimental, and maybe you were also cruel. After all, you were human, not a legend, not a god. Speaking of him, G-O-D, to him or her, or it, or source, or divine, we are many things. Why do people want us to be one thing? To them, for them, a man, a genius, a depressed person, a goof. Inside your head, inside your head, inside your head. That's where I live, inside mine. Is that what it means to be a good writer? To be who we are, and then to share. The world tells us no. It says you are this, that, or the other. And then we're afraid, and the very thing that's supposed to save us can become our enemy. Words rescue, inspire, they live on. I saw something in your collection of words, many I had to look up in the dictionary, and I felt something, I connected. I did it on my own, organically. I didn't need someone else's idea of you in my mind. I didn't research you more thoroughly until I finished, except I'm not done. There's more to read, more to reread, plenty to digest. And I'll hold my own pen high near the beauty of your sentences. I'll be emboldened to make my voice heard because it's mine. And I'll close my eyes and dream of places where thinking comes easy and I'm not afraid of thought, where emotions are labeled beautiful, a place where words flow, where I'm not judged to be sentimental for expressing something true to myself. Is that what it means to be a good writer? The act of writing is one of vulnerability. To write is to expose oneself to ridicule. Thank you for exposing yourself to all kinds and for writing about what it means to be lonely and sad and afraid, what it means to be human. When I started this novel, I had no clue what I was getting myself into, and that is life and birth and resurrection. That is art. I hope that reading made you curious to learn more about David Foster Wallace if you don't know who he is. I pulled out a much smaller book out of my collection that I recommend. It's called This Is Water, and it's actually, I'm just going to read to you the little page here. It says, David Foster Wallace was invited to speak to the 2005 graduating class of Kenyon College on a subject of his choosing. It was the only such address he ever made. And so, whoops, that's what this little book is. And I'm also going to share a link of him giving the address so you could hear the audio if you would like. It's it's really what turned me on to David, and I love his writing, and I hope that you will check it out as well. Okay, thanks.